Hello everyone, I am Zero Dragon 12, also known as Anthony from the Squirrel Squadcast, and welcome to my new Let's Play, Magic Duels. Magic Duels is the fourth, I believe, game in the Magic Duels of the Planeswalker series. Each Duels of the Planeswalker game represents a core set from the Magic the Gathering card game, and Magic Duels represents the final core set, Magic Origins. I'll explain why Magic Origins is the final core set of Magic the Gathering later, if need be, but Magic Duels is it's a card game pretty much. It's pretty much like Hearthstone, except it is Magic the Gathering, so it goes by Magic rules. And it is free to download off of Steam, and it's free to update. What makes Magic Duels unique from games like Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013, 2014, 2015 is Magic Duels is continuously updated with each block as the blocks come out. So, as of recently, the latest block, Battle of Zendikar, has just been the update has just been released, and when you download the game off Steam, it will give you the main game and the Battle of Zendikar DLC. And as more blocks come out, they are going to update the game to have more cards from each block as the story goes on. I've played Magic the Gathering a couple of years ago. I haven't played frequently since, due to school mainly. But yeah, from what I've seen of the game, it's fairly easy to get into. Of Magic Duels, that is, not like the actual Magic the Gathering. That actual game is kind of complicated unless you have someone telling you what you can or can't do. I played the tutorial when my internet went out, so and the game autosaves. So sorry you won't be getting the tutorial, but I will be explaining how to play Magic as we go on from the story. So without further ado, let's get started. So the main portion of the main game, Magic Duels, is based on the Magic Origins core set. Magic is split up into 5 colors: white, blue, black, red, and green. And these are the 5 basic mana of the game. White, of course, well, it's represented by sun. Blue, represented by water, a water droplet. Black, represented by a skull. Red, represented by a flame. And green, represented by a leaf. As you can see, we only have Gideon Gura, this campaign. And white, I think, is probably the most basic color to run. It's the easiest to pick up, and it's not as complex. So, yeah, let's get started. So we start off in the plane of Theros. And here we have a boy named Kytheon Yura. You lead a small group of street toughs known as Kytheon's Irregulars. Together you act as a force for justice and charity in the slums. While raiding a Crowan estate for food, you draw the attention of city guards. So as you can see up here, there is a store and a stack of coins. Currently I have none because I haven't played the game. Here it says plus 10 coins. So if I beat this, I get 10 coins. Fairly similar, fairly straightforward. I'll get into the rules of Magic once we actually start the duel, so let's begin. And here's the loading screen. So this is the first legitimate duel of the game. So as you can see, each opponent, you and your opponent both have 20 hit points. Fairly straightforward. The goal is to reduce your opponent's hit points to 0. And you do that by sending out creatures, playing spells, and playing enchantments, pretty much. So, let us begin. So, I guess I'm starting. So this is my main phase. So, my hand, I have 3 planes, 2 Elite Vanguards, and 2 Glory Seekers. Now, as you can see, planes are a basic land. So this is your basic unit of mana. You play one, and you can play 1 land per turn, unless you have a card effect saying that you can do multiple. But for the most part, it's 1 per turn. Now I can play a. Do I have a timer? I can play a card named Elite Vanguard. Now notice it has a single mana symbol up in the right corner. Let's tap this, and I'll play Elite Vanguard. Now, Elite Vanguard, notice you have, well, obviously, as I said, there's a single mana up there, which means I just need 1 mana to play. Glory Seeker, however, has 1 mana and a number in a gray circle. That number in the gray circle is a uncolored mana. That means I can use, at this point in the game, it means I can use any mana to pay for that cost. So, of course, right now I'm only playing white, so I can use 2 white mana to play it. But say if I'm playing a multicolored deck, that means I would need 1 white mana to pay for the mana right here, and any other mana. Say I'm playing a Boros deck, for example, red-white. Then I could use a mountain to play as the uncolored white mana. What you would notice is, at the bottom, you have 2 numbers. For Glory Seeker, that's 2/2. For Elite Vanguard, that's a 2/1. In that order, that is your power and toughness. For those of you who play Hearthstone, that's pretty much, you probably know what those mean anyways. Power is how much you deal to your opponent, and toughness is how much damage that creature could take. Now, the way creatures work in Magic is same as Hearthstone. You cannot attack on the same turn you play. So that means I can't attack my opponent, the guard, with my Elite Vanguard until the next turn. The way damage is dealt is actually unlike Hearthstone. In Hearthstone, you can choose which of your opponent's monsters to attack. In Magic, all damage is dealt directly to the Planeswalker. To a Planeswalker, I say that. And I'll get to what that means a little bit later. But for now, you just have to know that all damage must be dealt to a Planeswalker. And your opponent can choose blockers based on what he has. Or he can choose to take the damage as he needs. That comes in handy when you're playing a black deck that relies on that gets stronger as you get weaker. So right now I can't attack, but if you notice in the dividing line between me and my opponent, there is a bunch of symbols. Main phase, attack phase, block phase, damage phase, main phase 2, and end phase. Main phase is pretty much where you can play all your cards. Any card you need. Lands, creatures, sorceries, enchantments, artifacts, whatever. Attack phase is pretty much where you declare which creatures are going to attack. Stands to reason. Block phase is where your opponent can declare his blockers. Again, self-explanatory. The other one, the damage phase, is pretty much calculating the amount of damage that they take. There's another card type that I haven't mentioned, and that's instants. Instants can be played at any time during anyone's turn. So this could be a counterspell that you can play during your opponent's main phase, or this could be an extra bit of damage right before the damage dealing phase. So instants can be played at any time. Any creature that has the keyword flash can be played at any time. Everything else must be played during a main phase. So of course, main phase 2, I can play another mana. If I haven't played a mana in main phase 1, I can play another mana in main phase 2. Of course, then there's the end phase, which is pretty much the end of your turn. Anyways, let's continue. So every turn, you draw a card. You start the game with 7 cards, and you can only have a maximum of 7 cards in your hand unless otherwise specified by a card effect. The early game, you mostly want to draw lands and very low mana drop creatures. Unlike Hearthstone, where you're guaranteed 1 mana per turn, in Magic, it's all pretty much based on how you shuffled your deck. Because everything is random. Anyways. Okay, so it's my turn. So, I'll play another land. Tap this. And tap this. And I'll play Glory Seeker. Now, if he could, you notice that the card hovered here. It hasn't resolved yet. If I was playing against someone who would counter, that would be the time that my opponent would play a counterspell that would return it to my hand or send it directly to my graveyard. But of course, this is the first duel. They're not going to do something like that. My new card is Oreskos Swiftclaw, which is a 3/1, which is the heaviest dealer I have right now. But right now is my attack phase, so I can use my Elite Vanguard and directly deal 2 damage to my opponent. This is his block phase, so he can choose blockers, but he has none. So now it's my damage phase. So that pretty much is, I've dealt 2 damage. Now, notice that my card right now is tapped. Tapping, of course, is pretty much to say that this card has been used. So I cannot use, if I tapped 2 mana, that means I cannot use that mana to draw something else until my next turn. My attacker, my Elite Vanguard, he is tapped. That means I used him to attack last turn, but that means he is unable to block. For the most part, if you're attacking with a creature, that creature is tapped and cannot block during your block phase of your opponent's turn. So that means right now, if he plays a creature, I can't block with my Elite Vanguard. I can, however, block with my Glory Seeker, despite the fact that he has Summoning Sickness. But for now, if it's tapped, it's pretty much useless for the next turn, during your opponent's turn. Just keep that in mind. So he plays a Glory Seeker. I don't have anything to counter it. So now I have another Plains. Now what I can do is I can actually play my Orsekus or Swiftclaw. Now he has a chance to block. Continue with my phase. I actually could have played another Elite Vanguard. Now notice that it's attacking directly to him. I can't attack his Glory Seeker. That's because he can choose whether or not to sacrifice his Glory Seeker in order to prevent him from taking damage. We'll see what happens. Now during his block step, he's going to block my Glory Seeker. Since they're both 2/2s, get on with it. Since they're both 2/2s, he does 2 damage to him, which reduces his. And of course, I can play another card. Traveling Philosopher. Simple 2/2. So, another thing that's different from Hearthstone. Toughness regenerates. So, say I had a 4/6 creature and I chose it to block a 3/1 creature. That means the 3/1 creature deals 3 damage to my 4/6. My 4/6 deals 4 damage to the 3/1. 4 is greater than 1, so my opponent's 3/1 dies and goes to the graveyard. My 4/6 took 3 damage, but that damage regenerates every turn. So that means the next turn I can block a 6/5, for example. I can block a 6/5 creature with a 4/6, despite the fact that in the previous turn I used my 4/6 to block a 3/1. Then toughness regenerates, unlike in Hearthstone. So anyways, back to this game. My opponent plays Traveling Philosopher. I don't have anything to counter that. But he can't attack. And Valiant Guard, an 0/3, which is just purely defensive. Evil of the Watch. Wait, no, I didn't need to do that. But that's... I did not mean to do that, by the way. But notice I played my land after I summoned the creature. Yeah, notice how it regenerated from 1. Then it regenerates every turn. Now, my card here, Eagle of the Watch, notice that it has Flying and Vigilance. Flying means that pretty much it can't be blocked by any creature unless the other creature has Flying or Reach, as it says in the description. So that means any creature that he has right now that doesn't have Flying cannot block Eagle of the Watch. Vigilance means that it doesn't tap, which means that I can use that creature to block during my block turn, despite the fact I used it to attack my opponent. Anyways, continue. Now this is my attack turn. So that's a guaranteed 5 damage towards my opponent. Because he will probably... he's going to block one with his defender. Which means that the other 2 are free to attack. My Eagle of the Watch, obviously... Did I say 5? I meant 4. My bad. Notice how my Eagle of the Watch has not been tapped. That's because of Vigilance. So I can use my Eagle of the Watch to defend. Yeah. I'll let you play that. I don't have anything to counter with. Another Eagle of the Watch, huh? Sure. Swing with everything. There's a faster way to do this, but I don't remember it. Besides, it allows you to see what's going on. Kidding me, right? God damn. This is a guaranteed win at this point, so. So now that it's Xero, I won. And of course it's still going. It's sending him to the negative. So notice how they're in the bottom right hand corner there's achievements. I'm not doing an old achievement run like I did in Minecraft. I'm just gonna go through the game as normally. So first achievement is Steamrolled. Reduce your opponent's life total to 10 or less before your 5th turn. And Frenzied, starting on your 3rd turn, attack every turn until you won. You fight your way out of your hideout, but you realize continued existence will put your friends at risk. You lay down your weapons and the guards haul you off to the dungeon. You are sentenced to 10 years for thievery. Now, I've been recording for 24 minutes now, so I'm going to end this episode here. Next episode we'll do the next quest in Magic Duels. So I will see you guys next time. If you liked the video, enjoyed my ramblings on Magic the Gathering, feel free to subscribe. There will be more updates. I will be going through the main story, and if need be, or if I have time, I will record Battle of Zendikar DLC stuff. I'll do that stuff. Yeah, if you enjoyed my commentary, you know, go ahead, hit like, subscribe. If you want to check out some of our other videos, you can. If you want to check out the podcast, go for it. I highly recommend it. Check out our website at pokecheats.net. Shameless plug, I know, but go ahead, check that out unless you're already part of Poker Cheats. And I'll see you guys next time.